Hey guys, I'm Ivory and today I'm going to be reviewing and doing a wear test on the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blushes. I'll be showing you how this looks initially as well as checking in throughout the day to show you how it wears, because even though it may look good at the beginning, at the end of the day it doesn't really matter if it looks good if it doesn't wear well. For anyone that's new here, I have oily and acne prone skin, so So a lot of my wear tests are catered towards people with similar skin types. I don't typically do wear tests on blushes. Usually I do them on just foundations. So if you're curious about any of the wear tests that I do, I will link up in the cards a playlist of all the wear tests that I've done. And also I do provide timestamps in my description box so that you can skip to whatever part you need to in this video. So that way you do not have to waste your time here. So before I apply these to my cheeks, I do want to give some information about them. So the product contains 0.21 ounces and retails for $9. I do have a couple of comparisons. They are in my Z palette. Both of these are from Milani. This is the Milani Baked Blush. This is the shade Luminoso. It's a classic. This one is $8 and has 0.12 ounces. And then this one up here is their pressed powder blush. And this one retails for $9.50, but you get 0.6 ounces of product. Just a reminder, this one is $9, so for 50 cents more, you get significantly more product. And I'll tell you right now, these powder blushes are gonna last you way longer than a cream blush. I mean, that seems to be pretty typical. I've had this baked blush for over 5 years because I had it before I was even engaged, I think. Wait, no, I was engaged when I bought it. It's weird that I know that. But this June will be my 4th year being married, and then I was engaged for a year and a half. So yeah, about over 5 years, and it's still going strong. And then this one I actually use quite a bit. You can see the center of it is gone, but I've had this one for a very long time too. I also wanted to compare it to the e.l.f. Putty blushes because they're both in the cream formula category. The e.l.f. Putty blush has 0.35 ounces and it retails for $6. So even though this one looks bigger, you do get more product from this and it's cheaper. Let me know if you guys want me to do a side-by-side comparison of the e.l.f. versus Milani cream blushes, or I was considering comparing the Milani cream blushes to their powder formula. So which one would you rather see? e.l.f. versus Milani or Milani cream versus Milani powder? By the time this video goes out, I will put a poll on the community tab so you can vote which of those videos you would rather see, or if you would rather me not make any of those videos. So I will let you guys vote. But I did want to just give a couple comparisons. So the shades that I got is 110 Nude Kiss and 220 Your Peach. I always try to pick colors that I don't already have in my collection so that nothing is repetitive. I will do a full face of makeup, but for now I'm just gonna swatch these with my finger on my bare face just so that you can see how it looks on my skin. I also did go ahead and apply these on my cheeks upstairs in natural lighting so that you can see how it looks in different types of lighting. So the first one that I'm putting on is 110 Nude Kiss, and I'm obviously putting on a lot so that you can see the actual color. I did wear this color in my last video. It was called What Makeup I Wear Whenever I'm Not Filming, so I do have some opinions formed. And on the other side, I'm doing Your Peach, which is this coral orange. Whenever I go on Instagram and I see girls do like an orange eye and then a bright orange blush, oh, I love it. It looks so good. I think it's such a fun color, especially for the summer. And this is what the blushes will look like on me. This one is more, you know, work appropriate, and this one is just more fun and vibrant. I love both of these colors, but today I'm going with the fun side. I already knew ahead of time that I was gonna pick that blush, so I made sure that my shirt kind of matched, and I even put on this necklace so that the outfit kind of goes. I don't know if you can see, but these are leaves, and this is a cherry. Isn't that so cute? I feel like my last name, you can do a lot of cute things in terms of just naming and outfits and just decor around the house. Sometimes I feel like I married Steve for his last name. It's like I love you and everything, but that last name, it was a great selling point. I'm gonna quickly fast forward doing my base. None of the products I'm using are new. When I'm doing these types of reviews, I like the product that I'm reviewing to be the only new thing that I'm trying. That way, if it doesn't work out, I know what the issue is. But all of the products used will be listed in my description box below. Okay, so I have not set anything yet, so I'm gonna go in with the blushes now. Last time I used just a sponge, but I do wanna see how it applies with a dual fiber brush. I'm using the Sigma F55, which is the small dual fiber. I'm just gonna swirl that in. Oh, that is bright, but I love it. And then on the other side, I'm gonna use my Jude & Co. microfiber sponge. So I'm learning that a little bit goes a really long way, but I do prefer applying with a sponge. It's a little bit easier to blend out. And typically if I use a cream blush, if I use a dual fiber brush, I usually will go in with a sponge afterwards and kind kind of blend out the perimeters of the blush. So I'd rather just use a sponge from the get-go. That way I don't have to dirty up a brush. Plus I do feel like the sponge side just goes on a little bit more seamless anyways. And you can see, even though this looks really bright, when you blend it out, it's wearable. Since I have some residual, I'm gonna take this fluffy brush. I also wanna apply this to the eyes so that we can have like this monochromatic moment. I don't wanna waste any product here, so I'm gonna steal the product from this brush and transfer it to this brush. But I think a monochromatic moment would be super pretty. Do you guys follow Rocio Cervantes? If you're not following her, especially on Instagram, you should. She's been doing these looks where she has the blush and the eyeshadow, she uses the same one, but she connects it right here and it looks so good on her. So I'm kind of channeling that. And this is gonna be the only color that I put on my eyes. Keeping it real simple today. All right, so I'm noticing using it as eyeshadow is not as easy. As I'm blending it, I see patchiness. It never said that this blush could be used as eyeshadow as well. I just wanted to use it, but I wanted to show you that it's not going on as easy when I use it as eyeshadow. Because I see certain areas as I blend it where my skin is coming through. I'm also gonna run just a little bit of that under my lower lash line. All right, and then I'm gonna set my face. I'm using the Dermablend Loose Setting Powder, and I only set the areas where I applied concealer. I'm not gonna set this blush. I mean, a little bit is falling down right now, but I'm not gonna set this because I feel like the whole point of cream blush is that you get that kind of glow from within from this type of formula. So when you set it, you lose that. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. And just so you know, this formula does have a little bit of tackiness to it. Like if I put my hair to it, you can see it sort of sticks to it, but it does pull away. So just be aware of that. Since this is a cream, I wonder if I could also use this as like a lip balm. I mean, you could do whatever you want with makeup. So even if I'm not supposed to be doing it like this, I mean, who's gonna stop me? All right, so I just did a really light wash of this, and I'm sure when I eat, this is gonna fade, but that's okay. All right, I just went ahead and did my mascara off camera, but this is what my makeup looks like all complete. I can see it only on this side of my cheek. There's a little bit of my foundation coming through, whereas this side, I'm not seeing it that much. So just to even it out, I'm just gonna add a little bit more just to fill in that gap. Maybe it was because I put my hair here and then it stuck to my hair. So I'm just gonna apply it only a little bit there, and now it's totally normal. But that is it for now. I will check in at the halfway point in natural lighting to show you how it's wearing. Okay, so it has been about 6 hours. It is a very hot day today, and I have been outside going on walks with my dogs to take advantage of the nice weather because I think in like 3 hours it's gonna rain. So I'm definitely utilizing the nice weather whenever I can. I can see on both sides of my cheeks there's missing blush. You see right in the center, that is my foundation or my skin peeking through. And the same thing's happening on this side. I feel like even more so. There's lots of different missing areas of blush, and it just looks kind of blotchy. Just a reminder that I didn't set my blush. I feel like setting my blush almost negates the point of having a cream blush, because if I'm gonna set it, then why wouldn't I just go in with a powder blush in the first place? At least that's my rationale. When I use cream products, I don't set them. For example, my ColourPop Super Shock or my e.l.f. Putty Blush, I don't ever set them, and they work fine without me setting them. So that is what I'm comparing it to. So it's a little disappointing that it's not wearing as well as those two. In terms of the color though, I still feel like it's pretty vibrant. It hasn't really faded too much. It's just that I'm losing coverage and it's starting to break up on me, which is disappointing. But this is the 6 hour mark. I will come back in a couple more hours to give you my final thoughts. All right, so it's been about 9.5 hours and I can still see the blush. I'm surprised it also stayed on my eyes. I wasn't sure how that was gonna work. I will say though, if you ever use this on your eyes, don't do liner, because you can see here, because it is a cream product, it made my eyeliner in here not stick. And the eyeliner that I use, the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof liquid liner, it always stays there. So the only difference today is the eyeshadow, because it is a cream. So I kind of saw that coming, because when I was initially doing the wing over the eyeshadow, I was having a little bit of difficulties. So it doesn't surprise me that it didn't wear as well with a cream product under it. I don't think much has changed since the 6 hour mark. You can still see that missing patch of foundation on both sides of my cheeks. And because this color is so bright and I did pack on quite a bit, it is noticeable that it is broken up and there are missing areas of blush and my foundation is coming through. I don't know if I would go as far as to say it looks bad necessarily, but I personally don't like it like this. The thing is, everyone does makeup differently. For me personally, if I use a cream product, I do not set it, but I know some people, even when they use a cream product, they do set it. So I wasn't planning on this, but I think I'm gonna do a day 2. It's not gonna be as in-depth as today, and the next time I am gonna set it and see if it wears better that way. In the future though, when I review a cream product like this, next time I'm gonna set half the face with powder. That way I don't have to do 2 days. You see, I'm thinking. So if we're basing results just on today, I would say that unfortunately, I'm a little disappointed because it did break up, and it broke up at the 6-hour mark, which is early to me, but I'm still hopeful, so we'll try again tomorrow. All right, it is day 2. I put primer, foundation, concealer, but I have not set my face yet, so I'm going in with the blush now. I'm using the other one, which is Nude Kiss, and I'm gonna use a clean microfiber sponge and do the same thing that I did yesterday. And I just want to show you before we start this wear test that when I'm applying this blush, there are no patchy issues. Nothing is disturbed. Everything looks normal. And now that I applied the blush, I can set it with my Dermablend loose setting powder. Let me set my concealer first just because that's my workflow. But I'm just going to set it the same way I would any other liquid or cream foundation. And you can see it's matte now and it's not tacky at all. And that's all I really wanted to show. So we're done here. I'm gonna really quickly do the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna come back roughly around the 6-hour mark again in natural lighting to show you if it wore differently today. All right, we are 5 hours in and setting powder fixed all the issues that I was having. I can see that it stayed a lot better and it's not breaking up. It did fade a little bit. I mean, that happens to all my blushes. I wanted to make note of that because this is a blush review. But this was the side yesterday that I was having issues with where it was really breaking up, and today it looks a lot better. So with this blush, it seems like you will have to set it so that it wears better. It's not a deal breaker to me, but it's just a good to know for the future when I use this again. I'm gonna continue wearing this, and it's actually probably a good thing that I did set it today because I have to wear a mask. But I will check in a couple more hours to give you my final thoughts on this product. All right, so it's been just slightly over 10 hours. I did have to wear a mask today for about 2 hours, and it clearly wrecked my blush. You can see that there's just missing blotches of blush on both sides of my cheeks right here. It's just completely broken up and it's rubbed off onto my mask. So even with it set, it still broke up quite a bit. Up here, it doesn't look like it's disturbed too much, but down here especially, it's super broken up and it is noticeable. I can see it from quite a far distance. So based on what I've seen, if you wanted to try these cream blushes, it definitely wears better if you set them, but you can't really wear a mask for too long over this. I think that these apply great initially and they look great, they blend nice, and you don't need a lot of product, but I don't think they're super long wearing. It's hard to say if this would have gone differently if I didn't wear a mask today, but I mean, everyone's wearing a mask nowadays. So I think actually going through that little test was helpful in this case, considering we still have Miss Rona around. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of this product. The pros are that these are very pigmented. I mean, I did not need a lot of product to get these to come onto the cheek and to show up. They blend out really nicely. They look promising at first. And if I set it up until the 5-ish hour mark, it looked all right. So those are the pros. The cons, for me at least, because I have oily skin, I did have to set it. Otherwise, at the 10-hour mark, it was really broken up. It broke up and transferred quite a bit when I wore a mask. So for me personally, the only way I would wear this is possibly as a base, and then I would have to put a powder blush on top of it, which isn't the end of the world, but then it's like, why do I need 2 blushes to make one stay? You know what I mean? So that's really the only way I will be getting use out of these, because these alone are not doing it for me. So if you're gonna compare this to the current blushes that Milani has, which are powder, I definitely prefer the powders over this. And if I'm comparing it to other cream blushes that I have, I also prefer my other ones. The only thing that this cream blush has over my other cream blushes that I like is that this is the most pigmented out of all of them and probably uses the least amount of product to get pigment on my cheek, but that's about it. This is the only thing this has over them. The rest of it, in terms of the way they wear and the longevity of them, all of them wear way better than these. I will still be getting use out of these, but I will be layering these underneath another blush because that's the only way I can see them wearing a little longer. So you have to decide for yourself whether or not that trouble is worth it. But that is it for this review. I hope that this was helpful, insightful, or at least entertaining. If it was, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I would love to see you come back. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.